Good evening, people. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the FPL Duo. Back again for another stream. This one's slightly different. We are doing a free hit draft for Blank Gameweek 34. As I am on the free hit myself. So we thought we'd do a quick stream, show you guys what we're thinking about for this game week, and we'll also quickly recap double game week 33. Again, not much to discuss for this one because it wasn't a very good game week. I think it's fair to say for both of us. I'll kick it off quickly. I get, as you guys know, I was on a bench boost for double game week 33. But in goal, I had Raya, who pretty disappointing overall. I think he did keep a clean sheet in the first game, which is nice, and then conceded 2 goals against Palace. But all in all, 7 points, I can't really complain, if I'm being honest. I was hoping maybe for 2 clean sheets, but I think 1 was more realistic. So yeah, to be honest, 7 points, but it is so highly owned, it doesn't really do anything to my rank at this point. This is why yeah, everyone's got a sort of a similar team, I feel. I doubled up with Saliba again, 1 clean sheet, and then 2-2 draw last night against Palace, actually. And then yeah, moving on to Munoz as well. Munoz, disappointing first game, minus 0 points, I think, in the first game, or was it -1?
-1,
I think it was. Sorry, I think it was 0 points.
On 0.
If I'm not mistaken, and then he ended up sort of salvaging that, I think, with the assist yesterday. I want to say, sorry, no,
Clean sheet.
Sorry, no, he did get and it was 0-0 clean sheet against Bournemouth. And then he also got the 1 pointer against Arsenal. His -1 was in double game week 32. Sorry, keep forgetting because he had back-to-back doubles. So yeah, this game week 6 points. He had a clean sheet against Bournemouth in the 0-0 draw, where obviously Palace were down to 10 men. And yesterday, in the 2-2 draw, he played 90 minutes, got the 1 point. So not too bad, 7 points from him. Vardiol, some success. Got a clean sheet in the first game against Everton in a 2-0 win, and he played 90 minutes as well in the Man City's 2-1 crucial win against Villa. Into the midfield again, very, very disappointing. It's fair to say. Saka was the one that was disappointing. Played 56 minutes against Ipswich. Should have had a hat trick potentially. Blanked and then was subbed off. And then last night he comes on, plays half an hour. Doesn't really do much. Arsenal concede in the end after he comes on, and they end up drawing the game 2-2. So yeah, not great from Saka. He got about 86 minutes over the 2 game weeks, so didn't even play a full 90 over 2 games. So that was always a risk going with Saka, but slightly unlucky, I think, as well, because he could have definitely had a big haul against Ipswich. Ismail Assar was a bit disappointing as well. Played 90 minutes against Palace, but against Arsenal last night, he was on the bench, came on for the last 27 minutes, I think it was. All in all, he got a blank 3 points. Salah blanked as well. Salah, similar to Saka, could have had a goal or maybe even 2 goals. He missed a couple big chances, ones you'd expect Salah to score. But Liverpool did win in the end, 1-0. But yeah, no returns from Salah. It's now, I think, 4 games without a goal, which has been quite rare for Salah. There's a bit of a little goal drought. Hopefully he can end that on Sunday when Liverpool play Spurs. Savinho, again, disappointing. Played 77 minutes against Everton in the first game of the double game week, and then the second game he didn't play a single minute. Was an unused sub, so it ends up on 3 points. Rodgers, slightly more success, my highest scoring midfielder. He played first game, got an assist in the 4-1 impressive win, got a bonus point as well in that one. And against Man City, he got a I think 1 point, I think it was, after the yellow card he picked up as well in that game. Then up front, little success. Mateta played 74 minutes against Palace in the first game, blanked. Second game, he played 10 minutes. And the great thing is he only played 10 minutes, scored a goal, and he ended up getting all 3 bonus points as well. So that was a bit of a success from Mateta. getting the free bonus after literally playing 10 minutes. And moving on finally to Marmoush. Blank both games. Played 90 minutes, so the minutes were there. He played 90 in both games, but nothing really to in terms of return. So a bit of a failed captain with the 8-pointer. Expecting a bit more, but there were tough games for Man City. And both those games could have easily went one way or the other. I don't think Man City were great against Everton, and even Villa were pretty good. But Man City, I thought, probably were the better team against Villa, just about. It was a very, very disappointing bench boost, as you guys can see. Areola, unfortunately, this one's a bit unlucky. Areola conceded in last minute. I think it was 93rd minute against Southampton to lose the clean sheet, which was annoying. Did make a save, 3 saves, so he got 1 point. Konsa lost both his he lost clean sheets in both games, conceding in both. Disappointing. Dan Burn was the other one. Conceded 4 goals to Aston Villa, which I didn't see coming, and he scored an own goal. So just a disaster. Getting a -2 on bench boost is not the one. So he got -2 for goals conceded, and then he got another -2 for own goals. So yeah, just a disaster with Dan Burn. And then Isak's another one. Played 75 minutes, blanked. Could have scored. Should have maybe scored at least 1 in that game. But all in all, it's been a pretty terrible bench boost. Captaincy didn't work. Doubles didn't really work either. So all in all, I mean, look at it. 69 points I got. Take the -4, so 65 points total. Still a red arrow. Fairly big red arrow, I think. About 40, 50k, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I mean, 100k is looking very tough now, if I'm being honest. 100k rank. So we'll see where I finish. Obviously, there's only 4 game weeks pretty much left now. Even game week 36 double is looking slim now. We may not get a game week 36 double. So we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, not a great week. And I'll let you go next, Jordan, how to talk us through your game week 33, because it's not been a good one.
No, it's safe to say it's been a pretty floppy double game week. But yeah, let's obviously move on to my team, which isn't much better than obviously how Huss's went. So starting in goal, we have Pickford, who only got his 1 point. Obviously against Man City, lost 2-0, no clean sheet there. He also got a yellow card, which took the point away, which leaves him only on 1 point. Briefly moving on to the defence. So we spoke about Munoz with his 6 points, getting from the yellow card, the clean sheet in the first game, and obviously conceding in the second game, the -1 point. So only a total 6 from him, which isn't so bad considering the double. Milenkovic, on the other hand, 2 points from him, not much to discuss there. Nottingham Forest got the win over Tottenham though, which was a huge jump in that, obviously, a Champions League qualification race. In terms of Aït-Nouri, probably the one I'm more impressed with. Obviously, 1-0 win against Man United, not surprising. He also got a yellow card, which was a shame, but I'll take the 5 points from him. Another return. In terms of midfield, it's pretty quiet. Obviously, Salah, we spoke about blanking again in his 4 consecutive game without a goal, but Liverpool did get the win. Rodgers, a little bit more success with his, obviously, assist in the double. No goals, though, and a bonus point on top of that 7 that he got. In terms of my captain, De Bruyne, didn't really work out. Only 10 points, but miraculously, he did beat Marmoush. For those captain, Marmoush, he was beaten by 2 points, and that was separated by a clean sheet point that obviously the forwards don't get. So De Bruyne does slightly outscore Marmoush in that regard and gets the 10 points, which feels like a lot, but it doesn't feel as rewarding. I was hoping for a lot more from obviously De Bruyne in the double. And then finally Sarr, who we spoke about as well, pretty much the flop of the Crystal Palace double game week. Only 3 points from both games. And I think in the Arsenal game, he didn't start. He only played half an hour coming on. So he only got 1 point in that second game. Moving on to the forwards, Isak, again, another player that blanks. I think that's also his 4th game with, well, actually, apart from Crystal Palace game with 32, scored. So no goals from him, though, in this match, obviously, against Aston Villa, who lost 4-1 in the end. And obviously, we spoke about Marmoush, nothing whatsoever from both double game weeks. no goals, no assists. Followed by Mateta with the 10-pointer, who, again, we've spoken about. So I think the the damage is done on the bench, which comes from Mbermo with the 18 points. I think if I played him instead of one of the other midfielders, I'd be fine, or even the forward. I think that would be my guaranteed green arrow there. And alongside him is Hoyson as well, with the clean sheet and bonus points as well in that 0-0 draw. So yeah, in total, that's 26 points combined with Mbermo and Hoyson on the bench there, which could have taken me on a massive green, with Mikalenko to complete the bench with 1 point from his game against Man City. And yeah, in terms of red arrow, it's not that massive. My old rank was 1.6, and I'm now down to 1.7, so it's 100k or so red arrow for me. Kind of expected more from the double game week, but obviously we move on to blank game week 34 and a total 53 points from double game week.
All right, I'll just share my screen with you guys. Just bear with me. This is for the free hit draft. Just 1 second. So I've done a free hit team. Again, I've spent a bit more time on this one than what I did last stream. So this is what I've currently got set up as the free hit draft. So I'll quickly read through my team and my bench. So I am on the free hit, it is active. I activated it pretty much soon after 33 ended. So in goal currently I've got Leno. I've got a back three of Cucurella, 8 Nuri and Trippier. I have a midfield four of Palmer, Kluivert, Murphy and Salah. And then up front I've got Cunha, Isak and Raul Jimenez. On the bench I've got Sanchez, Luis Diaz, Trent and Robinson. Now, as you can see, I've got a fairly strong bench with Trent and Diaz. Now, I could be tempted to start them, assuming I hear news about Trent, because we know Bradley started the last Liverpool game, but Trent did come on and scored off the bench. So I'm going to wait till the press conferences tomorrow. If I think Trent's going to start, I probably will start Trent instead of Cucurella. And I could be even tempted to play Luis Diaz instead of Kluivert and benching Kluivert, because I think that Liverpool game now, as we saw after the result yesterday, Liverpool only now need a draw to confirm. They need a point. So I expect Liverpool to put 3 or 4 goals past Spurs. So I could be tempted to go very different, play Diaz, play Salah, play Trent. I think the upside is there, and a lot of non-free hitters won't be able to get to Luis Diaz and Trent. So that's the temptation there. In terms of the front, Cunha, Isak is locked, I think. Raul Jimenez isn't locked. I could change Raul Jimenez to maybe someone else. At the moment, I've got him in the team. Palmer's a lock for me. I know Palmer's form has been pretty wretched, but I still think Palmer's a great differential, because most of the non-free hitters will have sold him by now, and rightfully so. He's not been great, but I still think at home, got a hat-trick against Everton last season. I'm hoping most people are put off by him now, and including him, he can get me a return or two. Salah's obviously a lock. Murphy, I think, is a lock for me. I was debating Barnes, but with Barnes, it's more, does he start? Does he go with Gordon? That risk there, I don't want to take. So I'm going to just go for the safe pick, which is Barnes, which is Murphy over Barnes, I think. Kluivert, I think, is a good pick, but I like Luis Diaz as a shout. I think Luis Diaz will start. I can't see him not starting. So yeah, I could easily switch Luis Diaz back in and have the double Liverpool attack. In terms of the defense, I think you've got to have one Newcastle player. Trippier is the one I think I'm going to go for. You could change this to someone like Livramento, but Trippier is more of a differential. We know he takes set pieces as well sometimes, corners, etc. 8 Nuri, again, got a nice fixture. I think Leicester at home is probably the best fixture on paper this week. So you'd maybe back a clean sheet, hopefully an attack and return. Cucurella could easily be swapped out. As I said, he's just in there for now to be different, because again, non-free hitters won't really have Cucurella in their team. So that's the thinking behind that. And then Leno's a goalie. He's got Southampton away. Again, already relegated. You hope Southampton are sort of in the beach and nothing to play for. So yeah, that's the free hit team at the moment. But the ones that I'm not 100% sure about are Kluivert, Raul, maybe Cucurella. But the rest of them, I'm pretty certain and locked on them, if I'm being honest. So that's my free hit team at the moment. Still a bit of money in the bank, but most teams should be able to afford this draft.
Yeah, it's interesting with the double Chelsea. I think it's good also because Palmer, without a goal in about 11 game weeks now, it feels like it's going to be a nice differential. I think no one's really going to pick him because of that.
Yeah.
But I think that's the benefit of having Palmer because I think just Chelsea, there's still a lot to play for.
Yeah,
Obviously,
that's the
from the
thing.
big win. And a lot of people won't consider that and go without Palmer in this draft.
Yeah, I think Palmer, if you're on a free hit, I think Palmer's one I would still include. I know he's not been good, but I mean, even if you got rid of Palmer, who would you get in? There's so much money you'll have left. I just think the only other premiums, Palmer is the one I'd want in my team. And looking at his ownership now, um, it's 37%, and a lot of those managers are probably inactive. So it's probably even lower than that, engaged managers. So yeah, I know he hasn't. He got 1 assist. He had 2 assists, I think, in his last 11 games. So yeah, he's on a barren run. But as we know, it's make or do, or do or die, I should say, for Chelsea. So they need to win pretty much every game, or they won't get Champions League football. And Everton's one of the easier fixtures left at home. It won't be easy, but I can see Palmer. If Chelsea do anything, I can see it coming from Palmer. So that's why I'm going to include him. Kukurea, on the other hand, I'm not sure. I probably won't have him in the team, but that's what I've got at the moment. So yeah, that's my free hit draft, guys. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you're on a free hit. What players are you including? What players have I missed out? Let us know in the chat. Jordan, you've also done a free hit. You're not on a free hit, I believe.
No, that's right.
Show us your free hit team, and then also show us your boss team as well. I think with your transfer plans as well. We might as well do that. I think because we won't be streaming now until the deadline.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously now, as you can see on the screen, this is my free hit draft that I was supposed to go for if I was going to activate the chip, which I'm not. I am going to navigate that, and you'll see why I'm going to do that later on, obviously in the stream. But first of all, the goalkeeper I would have picked for this free hit team starting would be Kepa, who has Man United at home. Now, obviously, Man United, where they are in the table in the Premier League, they have nothing to play for. There is absolutely nothing they can really go for in the Premier League. So, on that note, obviously, there's no real reason to really go for, as say, a Man United asset. There's nothing. Even Bruno Fernandes last game was benched, obviously, because after the Europa win against Lyon, a lot of Man United now will be rotated, I think, and Bruno Fernandes being one of those key players. It'll be surprised if he does start, obviously, against that Bournemouth game, because they'll be focusing more on the Europa League, which does give benefit to Bournemouth. Again, they don't really have much to play for middle of the table, but if Wolves can keep a clean sheet against Man United, I am in full confidence that obviously Bournemouth can do the same thing, especially a home fixture for them as well. And introducing obviously the new FDR system, where it includes the darker green in terms of easy difficulty, we can now see Man United is a green fixture. So in that favour, I think Kepa is a good, obviously, goalkeeper option to go for in this free hit, because I don't think many free hitters will pick him as an option. Moving on to the back three selection. So starting off is Trent. We obviously have Tottenham at home, and this all depends on, like Huss mentioned, is if we hear any news about whether Trent starts or not, because obviously he was benched last game and Bradley did play and start for Liverpool. But let's say in the scenario he does start, obviously Tottenham at home, it's a great fixture. Again, Liverpool are playing for to lift obviously the Premier League title in this game. Whether they win or draw, it doesn't matter. They'll lift it regardless. So they definitely want to end up on a high and possibly a clean sheet, and maybe more from Trent if we're obviously fortunate if he does start, especially. But yeah, I think he's a key differential. Again, not many people really look at Trent, but I think he'll be an ideal one to go for as one of your defender picks, especially when you can afford it, I think, in this free hit, as a lot of the premiums and players that are blanking are relatively more expensive. Moving on to the player next to me, that's obviously Ait-Nouri, who has Leicester at home. Obviously, apart from when Leicester scored against Brighton, before that, they were on a goal drought for many game weeks. So they hadn't scored in like 6 game weeks in a row consecutively. which again not very good for Leicester. They're now officially relegated as well from the Premier League. Nothing to play for. Wolves, again, similar boat, but I think there's a clean sheet in there for them. And since owning Aït-Nouri for the last 2 game weeks, he's been pretty good. He has that attacking threat. He got a goal and assist against Spurs in that 4-2 win. And he also got a clean sheet against Man United as well. So he's definitely one you can't go.
Is he frozen? I think he has. All right, so we'll just wait till Jordan's back. So I'll answer a few of your questions. Fast AR says Cunha captain is very risky. I'd pick Strand Larson over him and Captain Isak if I want to gain ground. Cunha could be decent against relegated Leicester. Sorry, Jordan, you just
Yeah, I froze
there. I'll let you. I was just answering one of the questions. I'll let you carry on where you were.
Yeah, I was speaking on Aït-Nouri. Good fixture for Leicester, being a very dark green fixture as well. So it's a very easy one, I think, for Wolves at home. Moving on to the last defender pick in the back three is Shaw. He's got Ipswich at home now. Unless you're very unfortunate going with Burn, like Huss was with the -2, I still think Shaw is the slightly better option going forward with a defender for obviously Newcastle. He seems to get more of the attacking threat. I mean, he's had back-to-back goals against Aston Villa and Crystal Palace at home, and getting an assist against Leicester in 31 as well. And the tally for him this season, 4 goals and 1 assist. I definitely want him for the Ipswich home game if I was to free hit as well. It'd be very annoying to miss out on him if he does get something out of that game, which with the way Newcastle are playing at the moment and what they have to play for, being they want to be in the Champions League spot, there's a lot for them to play for. And Ipswich at home, again, another team that's looking at relegation, nothing to play for. On the other hand, Newcastle, everything there for them, and possible clean sheet as well for them to bounce back from their massive defeat against Aston Villa too. Moving on to the midfield 4 selection. So obviously Salah's there. I won't really speak too much on this because Salah this season has been great despite having no goals in the last 4 game weeks. Again, he's another good option for obviously Liverpool. They a lot to play for, obviously, for the title. And yeah, I think this could be one of those games that Salah does get back on the scoring sheet and is a possible captain for the blank game week. Moving on to obviously Harvey Barnes. This one's a bit of a 50-50 controversial pick. Obviously, with Gordon back into the squad, Barnes's minutes could be at risk. If I'm honest, I think Barnes is still a relatively good option to go for, despite the contention of Gordon, because even though Gordon could obviously play over Barnes, the form of how Barnes is on at the moment for Newcastle, it's hard to bench a player like that in current form. Back-to-back goals, a goal and assist in 32, and he got an assist in 33 against Aston Villa. So he's a player that is currently on form. One I wouldn't relatively don't want to bench. Has 9 goals so far this season with 5 assists, and somewhat a differential. Obviously, 6% ownership. Obviously, will rise come close to the time. Against Ipswich at home is a no-brainer for me. Next to him, obviously, is Cliver. He's got Man United at home. Fresh back, obviously, from injury, playing 90 minutes in his last game. Again, he's on penalties. He's playing Man United, who most likely will rotate. I definitely want to include a Bournemouth player in there in case there are any goals, which I'm probably sure there will be. And Cliver is one of the main guys for Bournemouth. I'd like to take a punt on, as again, not many people I don't think will consider Bournemouth, because obviously the mid-table is not really much for them to go for. But I think it's a good fixture for them just to get the 3 points and the win. And finally, moving on to Iwobi, who's got Southampton away, arguably the best fixture for the blank game week. Again, there's not really any Fulham options that really sprout out to me. Obviously, there is Raul Jimenez, but he is at risk at rotating with Muniz. That's hence why I've gone with Iwobi, and they will play a full 90 minutes. And it is one of those fixtures where I don't see a Raul Jimenez score, it's more likely I see a Iwobi score. So obviously they press high, Fulham, against a newly promoted team like Southampton, who, again, another team that's relegated. Only their pride to play for. I think Fulham, obviously easy win relatively should be for them. And Iwobi could possibly equalise on the goal he scored against Chelsea, again in that Southampton away fixture. So he's a bit of a differential as well, to go different rather than going with the template of some of the players in the midfield too. And then finally up front, you got the main three forwards. Isaac, a lot of people are going to own him, so not really much discussion over that. It's switch at home, possible captaincy option if you're looking to go against Salah in that regard. And then Cunha, who would be my captain pick for the free hit draft, has Leicester at home. Again, could be a risky pick, but I think I favour Cunha in one of those fixtures where he could obviously put maybe 2 or 3 against Leicester. It's one of those games where a player could just explode, and he has the potential to do that, as well as be obviously on penalties, I believe, as well. So, yeah, all to play for owning Cunha. And then finally, Chris Wood is an interesting one. Again, it's a player I don't think people will look to go towards, but since his return from injury, he did score a goal against Tottenham. A massive win for them as well, in terms of the Champions League. It is important as well for this next fixture against Brentford at home that they do win that and sort of secure that position in the table. And again, Chris Wood is a massive miss, so it's good to have obviously him back, because he was part of that obviously big win against Tottenham, and I think he can have the potential to score against Brentford at home as well. And again, a lot to play for Nottingham Forest. It's important, and Wood is on penalties. And then obviously you've got the bench options there if you're looking to go somewhat different as well. There's Mbomo, who's got Nottingham Forest away, playing against Wood. Robinson, just in case of Trent, the news who say he's benched, then you can swap Robinson out for him, who's got Southampton away. Again, another great attacking option there. And then you've got Mikalenko, who's got obviously Chelsea away. Difficult fixture, but if you don't expect Chelsea to obviously get a goal in that game and Everton to hold on, then again, another differential pick for a defender. And then obviously Sells, he's playing against Brentford at home. Again, another option if you don't prefer Kepa in goal. And in total, the team value for this is obviously affordable, 88 in terms of price, money value. So 3-4-3 formation, and yeah, that's what my free hit draft would look like if I was to do it in the Blank Gameweek 34.
Okay, nice one. Let's quickly pull up your boss team, because you're not free hitting, I believe. You're gonna just do transfers, right?
Yes, I'm going to navigate through a transfer, maybe 2.
Because obviously the Game Week 36 potential double might not happen as well, by the way. Thought I'd let you know as well. Don't know if you heard, but you could be in doubt now. So yeah, just one thing to consider, obviously, for yourself who's in your chip strategies.
Yeah, that's the daunting thing, whether it will happen or not, because yeah, it's important to know that, obviously, because it could mean I have to free hit in the Blank Gameweek.
Yeah. But yeah, if you pull up your team.
Yeah. Just bear with me one moment while I get that booted up.
That's fine. And you got 1 free transfer, haven't you?
Yeah, I would have liked to have 2.
Are you taking a hit or to play 11?
Well, obviously, this is the current situation. There's 3 players at blank in the 11. If I go to my transfer page, I'll show you guys what the plan is. So yeah, 1 free transfer, 3.7 million in the bank, which is no real issue. Obviously, the original plan was to take Mateta out for Cunha.
Yep.
And have obviously 9 players in the 11. So I have 2 players that will blank. And I think I'd rather do that and then take a hit for another player. If I'm honest, there isn't really... The players already have their...
Newcastle, maybe. Newcastle pick in midfield. Trying to think who'd worth taking a hit for. Maybe
because
midfielders aren't great. Palmer, who you probably don't want to take a hit for.
Yeah, because it has to be worth it to make up for the -4. And that's what my thinking was on whether it's worth going for -4 if there isn't a player really that will make up for it in the blank.
Yeah, Fulham, possibly Fulham player like a Raul if you think he's going to start. Yeah, but the free hit is not. It's not loads of amazing picks. I don't think this free hit, so you might be able to get away with it.
Yeah, I mean the only player maybe I would consider is Chris Wood if I took out a Marmouche, but
I think it's a tough game for Chris Wood. But
it is a tough game against Brentford.
But it's a home game, so they could get the win. But with Chris Wood, he doesn't take many. I mean, again, 1 shot, 1 goal. I know he scored the offside goal, but he's not taking many shots. So, in terms of even Forest in general, I think the way they're playing right now, they're just getting the goals and just sort of holding on now. So, how many are they going to score? Are they going to put 3 or 4 past Brentford? They could do, but it's one to consider.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah,
Patrick,
you guys.
Patrick is saying Sarr to Barnes in the comments.
I mean,
potentially, maybe take out Sarr to a Newcastle midfielder, like Barnes, Murphy, Gordon, if you think he's going to start.
I do sense a Barnes doing a madness against Ipswich. I'm sort of looking towards that. I don't know. I'm tempted. I'm split down the middle with that. Is Barnes worth a -4? I think he is. If he does score and get an assist or whatever early on in that game, then I think I'll be happy, because I think as long as Barnes does it early before Gordon obviously comes on in place of him, I think it makes up for it. But it has to happen that way.
Okay. Let's take a few comments. Patrick's team: Allison, Kukurea, 8 Nuri, Sessegnon, Diaz, Salah, Iwobi, Barnes, Raul, Isak, Cunha, and I'm going Barnes as captain as a fun punt, says Patrick as well. Says Pope in goal. Okay, cool. Decent team. Palmer, I'm also unsure about, says Dan. Ricky says, hi guys, always love your inputs. Thank you, Ricky. Sessegnon is a good punt, playing as a winger. Yeah, it's a good shout. Sessegnon, definitely, if you guys want to take a bit of a differential punt there as well. Elika says, do Ipswich really have a realistic chance at safety? They could affect me going heavy on Newcastle defence. Realistically, Ipswich are going down. Can't see them staying up, if I'm being honest. I'm looking at the Premier League table. It's I don't know what the gap is from them and West Ham. It's about 15 points, right?
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah, it's 15 points. There's no chance Ipswich are staying up. I think even a draw, maybe in Ipswich's game, they're officially confirmed. So I wouldn't be worried about Ipswich. I think
because even if they do win Ipswich, they have to hope that West Ham obviously drop points still. So even if they, it's
sort of not happening. It's like the gap between West Ham and Ipswich is similar to the gap from Liverpool and Arsenal, sort of.
Yeah, it's just it's not enough game weeks to make up for that gap.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we're going to end the stream here. Just thought we'd put out a quick free hit draft. Let us know what you guys are doing with your free hits. And a lot of managers are activating it this week. It's a good week to activate it, obviously, with a quite a big blank with Arsenal, Man City, etc. not playing. And yeah, we'll be back again Saturday. Deadline stream should be a good one. Free hits will be active, so make sure you tune in for that. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your week, guys, and we will see you soon.
Yeah, take care, guys. See you Saturday for the deadline stream.